Okay, y'all, I'm going to knock two subjects out in one. One is going to be the more important one that I care to talk about. Well, actually, both of them is regarding colorism. One is the tired same old that we seen from reality television before. So, Real Housewives of Potomac, the Wendy and just the Wendy situation with Candace and even Monique, because people tend to forget that colorism can also happen even with darker skin, with amongst darker skin, light skin people. Like, it depends on the lightest person in the room. We've been talking about this since basketball wise. Tammy Roman is light skinned, but she was the darkest amongst Shawnee and darn on Evelyn. So even light skinned people can darn gonna face colorism if they're the darkest person in the room, because it all is on the hierarchy of color. So when it comes to the underlying biases over at Real Housewives of Potomac, Wendy and them does have merit with them saying, "Well, how in the world I'm being attacked and you getting on me more so for being the instigator than the person who actually physically assaulted me." And then how many times darn going Robin thinks she wasn't deemed the aggressor when we done seen her darn gonna try to get hostile with so many people running up on them. Now granted, there's some nuances to that, because that's not necessarily her expressing a bias, because we done seen her run up on Ashley as well. That's just Robin being Robin with her handsome ass. Giselle, yeah, there's definitely some underlying biases there, honey. There are some internalized stuff going on there, even down to that perpetual blonde darn going over processed in dire need of Olaplex type hair. For people who think that's a tired rundown wig, that's actually her hair. Hence why it's the same. It don't grow or nothing. It's the same length from season one. It's like, girl, hydration, hydration. Lay off the darn going bleach, honey. Hell, look like she get it partially relaxed too. Lay off the lie too. In addition to the lie, the double entendre, the L-I-E and the L-Y-E, baby. But moving on from them, but they're gonna tired hoes. Let's get into. Oh, y'all know I don't like really talking about YouTubers like that. Normally if I do, I have to drag somebody, but this is the first in a minute where it's more so I'm coming from a place of empathy. Oh, my boo Tarek Ali, honey. Tarek, you done step yourself in a little situation, honey. I mean, girl, you done called yourself and you done started a trend in bigness. Really, boo? Oh, okay. That's what you want. Okay. If you like it, I love it. So he over there saying he was dyeing his hair to be more ambiguous and all the things of the things, and he done upset some black folks of his and all this. He went into a whole 50-minute conversation, and it all boiled down to striving for acceptance. I've also seen the fat boy. Once again, I know firsthand when we darn gonna lose weight, we darn gonna want to be noticed to a certain extent, honey. We get a little bit of notoriety, we don't know what to do with it, honey. But you combine that into the fact that you wanted to dye your hair and you didn't feel comfortable in the skin that you're in. You add, some trauma of, family members being touchy, feely. And that could also play a part in you not wanting to associate anything close to blackness, in the sense of, you felt abandoned by your father. You had the conversation with your father. It took years later. He finally darn going to apologize for the situation that happened, I think, with the cousin that was touching up on you, if I'm not mistaken. So it's like it's so many things that possibly contribute to him feeling the way that he's felt the whatnots. And I don't mean to be presumptuous, but even down to the diagnosis of those 3 letters that he's dealing with, it's like more likely it was with him, messing with somebody darker, and then he felt like, okay, I'm going to assimilate more to the whiteness and, become more. And then also when you get into YouTube, let's not act like, being a little bit more swirlish, being a little bit more palatable, being that safe black ain't darn going beneficial, honey. As opposed to the dark skin, unambiguous, darn gone kinky type 4C hair. And it's like, well, that works if you darn gonna give it Afro masculinity and you give it darn gonna BBC or something. Or, you know, if you the hair chick and everybody's gravitating towards the 4C hair trend and whatnot. I mean, you know, the styles and whatnots that you're doing. But outside of those two, normally, those two types don't get no darn gonna play. So he darn gonna position himself strategically on a multitude of levels, from, you know, combination of trauma in addition to trying to line up with what is more, you know, the way, the safe way to go with success and whatnot. Can't necessarily say I blame him to a certain extent. Hell, even a girl had to do it over here too. Now, granted, not for YouTube purposes, because I don't care about no views. If I get the views, I get the views. Y'all seen I've gotten videos that's gotten 50,000 views. A couple of them, I've gotten videos that's gotten 20 reviews. I mean, that's how stream we is over here. And we keep them all up, honey. I got reviews that's gotten 20 reviews, and I've gotten other ones that's gotten over 20,000 reviews. And the sweet spot for me tends to be like 200-300 views. It is what it is. With that being said, some people think that they're gonna change things up. That's you do you, honey. Now with me, I did that when I was way younger. And that was more so with corporate. It's like, once again, me having to, you know, you had to darn on pull back the darn on hair. But once again, that's also society being pushed upon you. So different dynamic, I understand, but still form assimilation nonetheless. You play up on your ambiguous name. You play up on, you know, the features. You're darn going, you know, take certain dialects out your voice, the urbanness or whatnot, and you can darn go acquiesce quite on by. So when I was able to darn go get into certain jobs and, you know, even online, you know, I was able to acquiesce a lot more easier. Oh, especially when they didn't have to darn go actually see the face and they had to just go off the voice or whatnots and the name. That gave me way more ambiguity and even racialness to play with. So it's like, you know, due to the country that we're in, where unfortunately you don't get judged off the content of your, you know, abilities or whatnots, but more so other factors play a part into it. You know, some of us have unfortunately had to play the game of, you know, acquiescing to being more safe. Only way around that, I would say, is number one, we have to deal with darn on supporting more so black businesses. We got to support reparations and, you know, restitution as far as atrocities that happen to us as people. We need to build up a sense of community again. Also, we need to learn how to do some loving from the inside again. Like, support more so black positive imagery, even down to your children. Like, now looking at these shows, they got the Proud Family back on, they got Raven Simone, and we do need those diverse doggone images to, you know, to instill powerfulness in the psyche, because it's like sometimes this ish starts off as young as 2-3 years old. Like, you grew up my age, you didn't really have nobody to look up to. Now for me it was Storm, but outside of Storm, who was it for the girls to look up to? I'll wait. There wasn't no, but Storm was the first black hero, and then there came others, but they didn't put them on TV until many, many years later. Like the Gen Z generation. I mean, okay, maybe code name Kids Next Door. We had the darn gone bald headed black boy, you know, number 1 or whatnots, but and then we had number 5, the chick with the darn on tall fro or whatnots, the Kid and Play fro. But it's like, for the most part, we didn't see too many of us in representation. We had the one dude from darn Captain Planet, he's a hero. And even then they darn acquiesced him to darn blend in with the rainbow of other folks, honey. They didn't have him too urban. I think the only unapologetic urban person that we had was when we had X-Men Evolution and we had Storm's darn on nephew Spike. He darn gonna had a rough type of edge to him. Honey, that's the only type of darn on hood black representation that we done seen in my 30 years. Now that being said, I haven't watched none of the stuff in recent years. So yeah, if Gen Z, the Alpha generation, well, I don't think I have no too many 18s. Surprisingly, I do have some 20-year-olds that watch me. I do pay attention to my analytics. So to the few that are 20 years old, honey, definitely tell me if that's changed since then. But yeah, up until then, we didn't have nobody with no edge like that. Because I don't even consider Cyborg really that much edgy. So it's like when you have the lack of media representation, you add, trauma of people that looks like you, that harm you the most, and along with external circumstances that's outside your control, sometimes that darn gonna plays a part on why people do the things that they do, such as feeling the need to have to acquiesce to more so, being ambiguous and all of those things. Not saying that's what he did, but I'm just giving a different perspective from what everybody else is giving. Because everybody else just wants to attack him and saying, oh, all this, that, and the third. And once again, I think this is part of a bigger picture of a lesson that people can learn. It's like, once again, it all boils down to self-love, reflection, and care. And he's now realized, the error of his ways. He's making progress. He's young. He didn't really actually hurt anybody in the process of this. So I'm thinking, like, why are we on the cancel parade? And that's another thing. We be too quick to darn on cancel people. It's like, if people don't even get a chance to learn for the errors of their ways, if darn on people cannot learn from, stuff like this, it makes it harder for people who are going through stuff like this, such as internalized self-hatred, for a myriad of reasons, to feel the need to come forward to darn going get the darn going help or whatnots, to get the darn going embraceness of blackness from different people, and the support system to even darn going try to commit to a change of de-acquiescing or whatever the word is. Getting away from trying to be ambiguous. And also, let me just say this. And you can still be blonde and not necessarily be ambiguous. Because, honey, best believe Diva One got a wig coming in the next doggone week or so from Temu. Honey, y'all about to see a whole different blonde unit up on Diva, honey. But that don't mean I'm trying to acquiesce from blackness at all. Because I think that unit is like a type 3C darn going coily or whatnot. So very similar to my natural hair texture or whatnot. So at least the one that's left in the middle until we get this hair transplant. So y'all know Diva One actually really love kinky afro curly texture wigs or whatnots. But even if I put on a straight unit, and trust me, they coming. But right now we got to get this situation under control with these bills, because Metronet, Metronet being a blessing. I ain't got a bill from Metronet in 3 months, and yet since I've had it, and I've had it for 3 months. United Healthcare keeps giving me the blues. First they surprised me and say I owe $131. Now they done sent me a lab bill for $139. This stuff is starting to add up. Now I just got notification because my paycheck supposed to be coming. And it's like, well, damn, I don't want all my goddamn paycheck going to darn on one United Healthcare. So now it looks like I might have to get on the phone with them darn on insurance advisors that's been hounding me. I've been ignoring the phone calls because I thought I had a fabulous insurance company. Only to come to find out I might have to get on the phone with them hoes after all. Totally different subject, y'all. Totally different subject. But yeah, y'all, that's my thoughts on the Tarek Ali situation. It's like he don't learn from the error of his ways. Boo, I'm going to be the one to tell you, you're not necessarily all that light skin. Now, your light skin is about as light as you give maybe like Queen Latifah-ish light skin. Like, You really more so like a light brown than anything. Like you that darn on, I would say maybe a tad bit lighter than Sanaa Lathan. Like a little bit, you know, a little bit more than you know, a Nia Long-ish complexion. But when I look at you, honey, I do not get, you know, Beyonce. Damn sure not no Mariah Carey or Zendaya or Maya Rudolph or Logic. Anybody of those of that caliber to say light skin. So girl, you was really putting on actually that was a 30 on 10 with that one, honey. But anyways, those are my thoughts. Y'all leave y'all thoughts down below. Let me get ready to call it a night. It's been a long, tiring day. It's going on 11 o'clock at night. Good night, y'all.